lives right here on another episode of The Nation, but not just another episode. We're coming to you live from the Putra World Trade Center, where of course the UMNO General Assembly 2017 is taking place. Today we're privileged to be joined by YB Senator Khairul Azwan Harun, Deputy Leader of the UMNO Youth Wing, and prior to this, YB was the leader of Barisan Nasional Perak Youth as well as the head of the Perak State UMNO Youth Wing. And at the UMNO's grassroots level, he held the position of Youth Chief in the Pasir Salak Division. Welcome to The Nation, YB. How are you doing today?
Welcome to PWTC.
Thank you very much. It is a buzz. It is lively. There's so much happening. We see a sea of red, and we see youth, we see women, Wanita, Putri, delegates, members, so many people here, all catching up on the hype that is the General Assembly. From this broadcast today and prior to this, we've seen and heard many interesting words that have been used, terms like regiment and battle and war. What do you think this does to set the tone, especially for the youth wing?
As for the youth, yes, the word battle has been in our assembly for many years. But what is more important moving forward, when we are going to enter the general election very soon, what is more important to us that the plans that we are providing, we are offering to the youth of Malaysia, especially in light of TN50, where for the past 1 year, government has been engaging with the youth segment, and it's clearly being driven by our youth leader, YB Khairi, and myself as well, with other youth leaders in party, that what we want to do is to tell to the youth segment, UMNO is not just about politics. UMNO is about the future. UMNO is about the plans that we have for a safer and secure future for our country and for our generation. Jessie?
That's going to be a tall order, because it's quite difficult to kind of change that image, or any kind of change is going to be difficult to bring on. What do you think is motivating and inspiring the youth to take on bigger roles in UMNO and beyond?
Yeah, it was a tall order, but now, since YB Khairi, myself, we've been engaging a lot lately, and then we've shown to our youth that we are more open these days, you know, and then we are creating more narratives and trying to build new perspective. So with these narratives in multi-disciplines, more youth feel they want to feel part of it. They want to get involved, as far as policy formulation. So we tell them, look, this is the time for you to join the boat. You cannot miss the boat. And we have the new narratives, we talk about how we should secure our future, how we should address security threats, how we should address non-traditional security threats, such as climate change. We talk about job security in light of this fourth industrial revolution. And then, one day human being will be replaced by automation, by robots. So now these narratives are really taking shape in in many of discussions, forum, help for the youth. So when the youth feel they are part of the discussion, part of the forum, they are slowly and progressively becoming more closer to us. And once they are close to us, it makes us much easier to try and promote the good policies, the good track record that Barisan Nasional government has, and way forward for our country and for them.
So they are becoming a game changer as well, being part of UMNO Youth. What is the identity of an UMNO Youth member?
Well, in the past, we've been trying to find the right identity for them, and now that I've seen many youth leaders these days, they are more becoming progressive in terms of their approach, in terms of their thinking. They want to see solutions be provided to the youth. Of course there will be problems, issues everywhere,
right,
every day. But we can sit down together, we talk to each other, we interact, we share our problems together, and we find solutions. Then we'll be able to provide the solutions for the bigger masses, the bigger group of the youth segment. So when the solution is available, and that with the government will, together we're going to drive that solution. And I believe that the youth will be happy, and this is the kind of game changer that we are talking about today. With the commitment by YB Khairi, leader of the youth segment, and also Minister of our Youth and Sport, many programs have been created to actually allow our youth to share their inspiration, and then we will stand up against any bigotry and any those people who are trying to disrupt the progress. So what is more important is that when they see the youth segment of UMNO and Barisan Nasional are able to provide the right platform for our youth of Malaysia to participate in all the discourses and share their aspiration, that is where, to me, the game has changed.
That's right. So you're saying the foundation has been laid and the game is on,
Yep.
right? From your experience, from the time you served at the grassroots level to now, from a top-down approach as well, having seen how that trickles down, how would you say things have changed in terms of perspective and mindsets, not just of UMNO youth, but UMNO as a whole?
Well, I lived in the era of 3 prime ministers and 3 UMNO presidents. Of course, during the previous prime minister, Tun Mahathir, and then Tun Abdullah Badawi, and now Datuk Sri Muhammad Najib Tun Abdul Razak. I could see very clearly after the era of Tun Mahathir, during the Tun Abdullah's time, we are becoming more progressive, we are becoming more open. Leadership was more engaging. We talk about investing for the future. We talk about investment in human capital development. And then when the era of Datuk Sri Najib now, you'll see the distribution of country's wealth expanding. We talk about regional development being Sabah and Sarawak in West Malaysia and East Malaysia. During Tun Mahathir's time then, it was really concentrated in the Klang Valley and maybe some big cities like Penang and Selangor itself. But now you could see with the massive plan, holistic plan that Datuk Sri Najib has been offering, you will be able to see how the development in the eastern corridor for Kelantan, Terengganu and Pahang are really taking place superbly. And you see Sabah and Sarawak now really developing with the best infrastructure, with the Pan-Borneo Highway. So I would say this kind of game changer now will be good for the country, will be good for our future, and I want to see more things that government is offering to the people will be felt by the people themselves. Why? Because rakyat themselves must be passionate about this. Rakyat themselves must be self-driven in terms of contributing back to the nation development, to the nation's future. They must be part of it. Do not avoid or do not go far from your the commitment and your energy, passion that you must put into developing the country together. We can have differences. We can agree to disagree.
Right.
It's okay. At the end of the day, people have the rights to have their own thinking, their own opinions. But what is more important that with the differences we have, the only common reason that we should get back together is to develop and provide a secure and better future for our country and life.
So that remains top priority for the nation, for the entire nation. Which brings me to this question: what would you say is the theme this year? Because we see on the ground, it is powerful, it is assertive, perhaps even a little aggressive. What would you say is the theme at the General Assembly this year?
This year's General Assembly is very crucial. It's going to be our last assembly before the general election. So, leaders, delegates, party members must all display and demonstrate our, number one, the winning mentality. So going into a war, you must have that kind of mentality, that is to win the war. So all levels of leadership and membership as well must be able to demonstrate and display this. This is the kind of confidence that every party member must have, the winning mentality. Why? Because at the end of the day, we believe this is the best offering that we could offer to the voters. You know, of course, voters would have the rights or choice whether to go for us or go for the oppositions. But we believe with us, with a good track record that we have, and with the plans that we have for the future, comparing to what the opposition is offering, you know, basically just talk of promises, but you know, nothing much. They don't have plans. They say about, you know, they want to reduce, they want to abolish GST, but they don't tell us how and where they will source new income to sustain, for example, our public service, our public health care. But whereas we, as a government, we are very clear, GST will stay around because we need GST to further develop the country, to provide better healthcare system for the people. So this year's theme is to have this winning mentality in all levels of party leadership and membership. Secondly, Jesse, we want to see more participations from the youth leadership to be made candidates.
As Deputy Leader of UMNO Youth
Right.
Wing, what do you think is on the minds of the youth of the nation?
Okay, I was about to say that, you know, UMNO Barisan Nasional is the party for the future. Alright? When we say we are the party for the future or party of the future, we should be able to demonstrate to our not only members but to the rakyat as well that we always have fresh ideas, we always have fresh faces, and we are always able to convince them with the new fresh ideas, with the new fresh faces. This party will stay for a longer time. That's why we call ourselves party of the future, right? If we are able to bring in more new faces, right, fresh ideas, I am very certain that rakyat and the people will continue putting their hope in us. Why? Because they see with the new ideas, with the new faces coming in to lead the party, then their confidence in us will be more.
But ideas and faces need to also translate into results. And I think the youth, the Gen Y or Gen Z, if you want to call them now, are result-oriented. They're result-driven. What do you think is on their minds right now? What is it they want to see in terms of productivity and results, especially as we close in for the GE14?
You see, youth, they will want to have icons that understand their aspiration, that can empathize.
True.
Can empathize, you know,
and humanize the policies and strategies.
Right. So, and the icons, right, so to speak, must also be able to relate to the life of this, you know, we call it Gen Y, or rather the millennials.
That's right.
The millennials. So the millennials would want to see, again, I repeat, fresh ideas and fresh faces, because we tell them we are the party of the future. So how do we convince them? It's by showing, look, this is what we have. Coupled with the good track record, with the existing leadership, you know, with what Prime Minister Najib has shown to them, you know, with the great public transportation system in the country, with the regional economic development corridors that we have, with the fair distribution of, you know, country's income. When we collect income tax, what we do, where we spend the money to. You know, you can see with the recent 2018 budget, almost all sector in the economy, all demographic group in our society will have a share of the cake, slice of the cake. Now, what is the young generation, the millennials, I would say, who want to see more from us is, number one, sincerity, sincerity and good governance. Secondly, inclusivity. You know, they want to see they are part of the, you know, as I said just now, the decision-making process of policy formulation, right? And number three, they want to see that this government, this leadership is able to also convince them that the future is going to be stable, is going to be secure.
Now and for the future, how is UMNO Youth planning to empower youth, especially when it comes to profession and increased cost of living, you know, for everyday daily life? Yes.
Cost of living, right. You know, we have two plans here, right? Number one, we have this TWET, technical and vocational education and training. Now, moving forward, we know the economy now is moving into this fourth industrial revolution. Most of the present jobs, like, I mean, I don't want to say this, but it's factual, it's reality, you know. Jobs like the accountants, you know, doctors, it's a professional job. That those days we thought that, you know, it won't be replaceable. You know, it was irreplaceable. But now, one day, it will be just taken over by, say, automation. Look at our highways these days, our tolls. You know, not many human beings are working there to man our
That's right,
our
we're
system,
moving towards
right?
the future.
So what are we doing with it? So what we're preparing our youth for these challenges with the right set of TWET education, technical and vocational education, right? This year alone, I mean, for 2018, government is going to spend more than 4.9 billion ringgit for TWET alone, right? Now, at the same time, we also want to see our young Malaysians are able also to master extra languages, for example, English or even Mandarin or Tamil, besides our own national language. And when we are moving into this new economy, for example, this fourth industrial revolution, most of references, books, and also job requirements, we want to see that we are able also to, you know, to converse and to understand and speak English. So, Pemuda UMNO also wants to see, you know, that our young generation is also being prepared to at least possess extra language skill besides their own mother language, I mean Bahasa Malaysia. And it does not only apply to the Malays. I mean, I would want to see young Chinese and young Indians are also able to speak English. And I go beyond that even the young Malays are able to speak Mandarin, for example, or even to converse in Tamil.
So based on that note, what are your thoughts, and following that, UMNO youth thoughts on racial unity and national unity, to driving that to the forefront? Because in my opinion, I think that will be on the top list of youth of Malaysians.
You see, national unity is always when the society can sit down, get together, and to discuss. If there's any differences,
right,
we will manage the differences.
Which has been our style and way.
Yes, that has been in fact the spirit in Barisan Nasional, or at least in Pemuda or the youth wing of Barisan Nasional. That's what Khairi, myself, and other youth leaders from component parties, MCA, MIC, you know, and Gerakan and other component parties in Sabah and Sarawak. When we have differences, we sit down and we try to thrash out and, you know, find the amicable understanding together that we can, you know, move on. You know, that has been practiced by us. So I would say that is the kind of national unity that I'm talking about. No, but if you want to go to like racial unity, I mean, it's going to be a bit awkward, because I mean, in Malaysia, every race will have the rights to practice their own tradition,
right.
And there are rights of each race. For example, Bumiputra, the Malays, while other races are also free to practice their belief and their tradition. So you ask me national unity and racial unity, I would say national unity is, you know, much easier to do, but provided rakyat is more sincere, people are more sincere towards each other, people can empathize. I know I will have to show empathy towards my other friends from other races. You know, I put myself in her or in his or her shoes. That I will understand the situation that he or she is facing now.
That's right.
And it's likewise, you know. So I would want to see this kind of this spirit will be embraced more by the young generation. It takes a generation to change.
Sure.
This is the right generation now. This
Which is what makes it so much more important, so much more urgent. It would be right to say, I think, that UMNO Youth is particularly the heartbeat of UMNO, especially
we are driving
for
it.
the future.
I'm sorry to interject. We are driving this because UMNO Youth, for myself, for YB Kari, we always believe that we just don't represent the Malays or the Bumiputras. We represent other races as well. We represent Malaysians as a country, as one people.
As one nation.
As one nation with diverse background, with differences, but we still represent each of them.
Thank you so much, YB Senator, for your time here today, discussing topics relevant to the General Assembly.
Look forward to meeting you again.
And general elections coming up, the GE14. Well, that's it from us, live from PWTC. I'll keep it locked on to Bernama News Channel for more updates coming your way. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.